back to Relationship Talk Show with Minister Dre. And this topic today, what I want to talk about is very simple and brief. What I want to talk about is choosing the right language in communication. So, I've read quite a number of books and I've listened to seminars and all that about relationship. And one thing I come to understand about relationship, or what tends to spike up problems in relationship, comes from misunderstanding, misinterpreting what one person is saying. So it comes to a level whereby one person is saying something and the other person is actually misinterpreting what the other person is saying. You understand? So, and this on the long run tend to bring up issues that should have been avoided in the first place if we really understand the topic of communication. And the communication is one aspect of relationship that everybody tends to emphasize on. Every relationship coach will always tell you communication is very important. Any book you consult about relationship would always tell you that communication is very, very important. But I feel one part that has been neglected or has not really been dealt with very well is that aspect of choosing the right language. So we have languages in relationship that seem appropriate, or we have languages that we use at times that our partners tend to misinterpret or tend not to understand, and by the time they tend to interpret it, they are getting another different meaning. And that's why you see two people will be living together and one person is saying something and the other person is actually getting another thing entirely. So it's like I'm saying A for apple and the person is hearing C for cat. You understand? So there's misconception, misunderstanding, misinterpretation, and this is what spike up relationship issues. Even in marriages, we have couples living together, but because they have not really understand to use the right language between themselves, so these tend to bring up issues. And that is why this starts. In my previous videos, I've talked about how you should understand yourself and understand your partner, because relationship is all about understanding, and that misunderstanding has led to a lot of breakups, a lot of collapse in marriages, and different funny stories around the world because of misunderstanding. And all this comes from misinterpreting one person, and that is why you hear one person saying she definitely misunderstood the whole situation. He didn't get my point. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean to say that way. This is what I meant to say. But the way you put it just not sounding the way you want it to sound to your partner. That is why communication is very, very important in relationship. It's something you need to be very conscious about. It's something you need to be very careful about before you talk. So, some persons might talk in a certain way because of background of the person, education, maybe the country where the person comes from, or different factors can actually determine how somebody talks or how somebody sees life. And mind you, how you see life can depend on it tends to influence how you talk and how you communicate. So two different people, two different background, two different status, two different everything, and then they communicating, and it seems as if they are not really getting themselves. So the point is, understand the language that your partner understands. That is the first thing that you do. Now, if you're a couple listening to this video, you both need to understand each other's relationship language. You need to understand your partner's language, the language that you use to communicate to your partner, that he or she will not be offended. You need to understand, you need to know that language, so that, because the language that you will not be offended at does not mean that your partner will listen to the same thing and will not be offended. What pisses you off might not piss your partner off, and what pisses your partner off might not piss you off. It's just the way it is. We are humans. So understand, you need to study the language that works for your partner. You need to understand the language that your partner understands. Yeah, I know at times we need to just come to that point where we improvise and we need to just be out and doing, but it also helps when you understand the language that your partner. Some person will talk some kind of way and the other person will feel this person is dirty. Imagine using a word like sexy, maybe to a spiritual person or a pastor or somebody that is not really familiar with such words. That person might really tag you as an unholy person, or it might tag you as something else. And that's not because that is who you are, but please. So, and as you listen to this video, as you watch this video, I want you to understand that now that you know this thing, it's not every time that your partner talks about something that you don't really like the language, you tend to react or you fight them for it. You need to understand that that is their language. So what is left for you to do is to understand their language and try to flow along with it. Remember what I said? It is good that communication is given priority in relationship, but it is better when we understand the language of our partners. It really helps. It makes things very easy for us. It makes you to be able to communicate well without having much issue, because most time couple get into argument because of language barrier. Now I'm not talking about English outside Yoruba Igbo or anything. No, I'm talking about the way you see life, the way you perceive life, your life language, how you tend to see things, because how you perceive life is what's going to determine how you understand or how you communicate to your partner. You understand? So please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and share with somebody, because there might be a friend of yours somewhere that needs to hear these truths that will really help them. So subscribe to the channel, and see you again next week on another episode of Relationship Talk Show with Minister Dre. Do have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.